Let's continue in the Tafsir of Surat Al-An'am. We're starting on the 66th ayah. And so, the author says, starting with the word of God Almighty, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وكذب به قومك وهو الحق. And your people have called it a lie, O Muhammad, while it is the truth. Yani, though it is the truth, what they belie, it is true. And what is it? وَكَذَّبَ بِهِ. Your people have called it a lie. وَكَذَّبَ بِهِ. It is the Quran or the torture. وَكَذَّبَ بِهِ قَوْمُكَ وَهُوَ الْحَقُّ. And your people have called it a lie, though it is the truth. قُلْ لَسْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. Say, O Muhammad, I have not been put in charge of you so that I would recompense you. I am merely a warner. I am not a wakil over you. I am not your supervisor. I am not put as a monitor over you. The Prophet ﷺ is not their monitor. Rather, he is a warner. لِكُلِّ نَبَإٍ مُسْتَقَرٌّ. For every news of punishment is a time to occur. They're being informed of returning back to life, and being informed of torture has an inevitable appointment. لِكُلِّ نَبَإٍ مُسْتَقَرٌّ. For every news is a time to occur. Mustaqar, a time for happening. For every news of punishment. وَسَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. And you are under threat. You shall know. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الَّذِينَ يَخُوضُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ حَتَّى يَخُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ. And when you saw those who indulge in belittling our verses, yani, when you see them, when you see those who indulge in belittling our verses, فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ, then turn away from them. Don't participate with them. حَتَّى يَخُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ, until they indulge in another discussion. When they indulge in another discussion, then you may join them. Those are kuffar. When you see those who indulge in belittling our verses, those kuffar, فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ, turn away from them. Be not with them. حَتَّى يَخُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ, until they indulge in another discussion. Then you can be with them. وَإِمَّا يُنْسِيَنَّكَ الشَّيْطَانُ فَلَا تَقْعُدْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرَى مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. And if the devil makes you forget, then do not sit after your remembering with the unjust folk. Yani, if you were not mindful when they were belittling the Quran, and so you stayed in their presence, and then you realize the situation, then فَلَا تَقْعُدْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرَى, do not sit after you remember. مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ, do not sit with the unjust folk after you remember that you cannot sit with them while they are indulging in belittling the Quran. but might take some strength for you to get up and walk away from them. May Allah grant us the strength to do what needs to be done. Ameen. And this came also in the previous surah. What was it? Was it the last surah? Was it Surah Al-Ma'idah? I don't recall, but I told you it's going to come back in Surah Al-An'am. This same prohibition that it is not permissible to sit with them while they are belittling the Quran. وَمَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ مِنْ حِسَابِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. And not upon the people who fear God is any of their judgment in any way. Yani, the judgment of those who belittle the Quran, their judgment, their sins, their deeds are not upon those who fear God. You will not be accountable for what they do, is the meaning. وَلَكِنْ ذِكْرَى لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. Rather, it is just a reminder so that they will beware. There's something here too. فَلَا تَقْعُدْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرَى. The way we have it translated here is, then do not sit after your remembering مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ, with the unjust folk. And we cited here a Tabari. T is for Tabari. At the word your, after your remembering. Why? Because it appears here as dhikra, the remembering, or the reminder, not your, but the, T-H-E, because of the L here. So Al-Tabari explains. Al-Tabari explains. So that's why I put your, because what would translate into this pronoun usually does not appear in the Arabic. Really, it's like the alif lam is being translated as your here. As if. It's not, but it's as if. After the reminder, after your remembering. So, just to draw your attention to that there. That's from the Tafsir of Al-Tabari. وَمَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ مِنْ حِسَابِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ ولكن ذكرى لعلهم يتقون وذر الذين اتخذوا دينهم لعبا ولهوا. And leave those who have taken their religion for which they were made accountable as a game and as leisure. Those who took the religion that they were commanded with, that they were commissioned with, the religion that they were called to, which is the religion of Islam, they take it as a plaything and they take it as amusement. Notice here in this ayah, Allah refers to Islam as the religion of the Kafirs. It is their religion. What does that mean? It's the religion of the Kafirs. It means the religion they're supposed to be. Yeah, because it's the religion of, it's the only religion that Allah accepts. How did the Shaykh rahimahullah define Islam in his book As-Surat al-Mustaqim? He said, Al-Islamu huwa dinu alladhi radiyahu Allahu li'ibadihi wa amarana bi'ittiba'ihi. Islam is the religion that Allah accepts, that Allah approves for his slaves and commanded us to follow. Yani, for all of his slaves. There is no religion acceptable to Allah but Islam. And therefore, the religion that the kafir is supposed to have is Islam. And so it was called their religion here. Dinahum. وَذَرِ الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَهُمْ لَعِبًا وَلَهْوًا. So that's a proof that Islam is the only correct religion. But when you share proofs with others, you want to have a certain gauge, which is you want to be able, or yani, you want to produce very clear proofs. Don't, if you can help it, don't produce a proof that requires a lot of explanation, some proof that requires for you to set up your premises and get to your conclusion. If you can, you produce proof for someone that is immediate. Immediate. For example, if you wanted to prove to someone that Islam is the only correct religion and the only valid religion, produced for them, for example, this saying of Allah, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whoever seeks a religion other than Islam, it will not be accepted from him, and he shall be in the afterlife amongst the losers. So that's very clear. It speaks for itself. Doesn't need you to support it with your premises and conclusions to help the person you're talking to understand. This ayah, though, it's not as immediate. Someone said to you, what's a proof that Islam is the only religion that Allah accepts? Or what's the proof that the non-Muslim has to be a Muslim? So would you produce this ayah? وَذَرِ الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَهُمْ لَعِبًا وَلَهْوًا. Leave those who have taken their religion as game and gesture. It does prove that Islam is the only valid religion. It's the only religion for all the people, but requires for you to clarify for the person, to elaborate for clarity. وَغَرَّتْهُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. And the earthly life has enticed them. Not only have they taken their religion that they are supposed to be upon as a joke, also the earthly life has enticed them. They are delusional in their earthly life, thinking about their money and thinking about their beauty and thinking about their feats, feats, and all of their world that they are indulged in, while they are, though, heedless of the afterlife. Those are those ones who are on a stage dancing in unison with blank stare on their face, and others. وَذَكِّرْ بِهِ أَن تُبْسَلَ نَفْسٌ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ لَيْسَ لَهَا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَذَكِّرْ بِهِ أَن تُبْسَلَ نَفْسٌ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ لَيْسَ لَهَا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَلِيٌّ ليس لها من دون الله ولي ولا شفيع. And remind by it, by the Quran, so that a soul will not be handed over for what it has acquired, not having instead of Allah any supporter or intercessor. Remind by the Quran so that no one will be handed over. Give such reminders for fear of someone being submitted to destruction and torture, for fear of his self being collateral, for his bad deeds, his well-being. His well-being will be the collateral for his bad deeds. He won't have any well-being in the afterlife. From the moment he sees the angel of death, from that moment. So that's right before he dies. Just a moment before the angel uninstalls his soul, he will be tortured, the kafir. He will be tortured from that moment until forever, into the unending future. وَإِن تَعْدِلْ كُلَّ عَدْلٍ لَا يُؤْخَذْ مِنْهَا. And even if he offered every ransom, that ransom shall not be taken from that soul, that individual. Like you know from other ayats also. Kafir, if he could give everyone in the world as a ransom to spare himself from the torture, he would. He will have no means of ransom in the afterlife. If he could give the whole world away as a ransom to save himself, he would. And if he had a whole another world on top of the world itself, so he had double the world, he would give double the world, all of it in ransom. Yani doesn't keep anything for himself. All of it in ransom to save himself from the torture of the afterlife. And he would give his children, and he would give his spouse, and he would give the one who was most generous to him and gave him a place to stay. He would give that person as a ransom to save himself in the afterlife, if he were able to. Don't you know, sometimes Kafir might hear these things like this, it makes them afraid. This Quran is so strong. They'll hear something like this, Yani, can't take it. That's why they used to sometimes, kuffar would listen to the Prophet recite Quran, they would cry. They can't hold themselves. Once, subhanallah, uh, it was in a Ramadan so many years ago. I saw some Christians giving dawah in the street, so I stopped them to talk to them. So he tried to refute me about some things. There was three of them, but one of them was the leader. So I recited Surat al-Ikhlas for him and explained it. Just when I was reciting, I recited in Arabic. When I said the qalqala make their body shake. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. The Quran is very strong. وَإِن تَعْدِلْ كُلَّ عَدْلٍ لَا يُؤْخَذْ مِنْهَا. And even if they offered every ransom, that ransom shall not be taken from that soul, shall not be accepted. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ أُبْسِلُوا بِمَا كَسَبُوا. Those, they are the ones handed over for what they have acquired. لهم شراب من حميم وعذاب أليم بما كانوا يكفرون. For them is scorching water, scalding water, the hamim. And don't forget, the hamim is corrosive also. It's not just only hot, it's corrosive. That means makes things melt. It's like acid. And also, how is it? It is thick. It's not like this water in the dunya here. Have some water right here. Some nice, fresh, soft, liquid water here that flows down my throat so nicely. It's not like that in the afterlife. The water of hell, I mean. Allah told us it's water in different places. It's called Hamim. It is water at the ultimate level of heat. It is as hot as water can get, and it's thick like sediment. Sediment. You know what sediment is? Like if you have, now if you have some oil, some cooking oil, and you were cooking things, frying something in the oil, so don't the crumbs settle down at the bottom? There's crumbs down at the bottom. That's sediment. This hamim is like sediment. They drink it. It melts their lips, melts their insides, and just comes right out of them. From yani drops down out of them. is cutting through their insides. لهم شراب من حميم وعذاب أليم بما كانوا يكفرون. For them, or theirs, is scorching water, scalding water, the hamim, and painful torment, excruciating torment, adabun alim, for what they were committing of blasphemy, bima kanu yakfurun, for the blasphemy they were committing. Yeah. قل أندعو من دون الله ما لا ينفعنا ولا يضرنا. Say, O Muhammad, should we call instead of Allah idols that do not benefit us nor harm us? وَنُرَدُّ عَلَىٰ أَعْقَابِنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَانَا اللَّهُ. And should we be turned on our heels after Allah guided us? Say, Muhammad, say to them a rhetorical question. Should we call upon something other than Allah, something that doesn't create anything? Some idols, they don't create anything, nothing harmful nor anything beneficial. And should we turn on our heels? Should we turn our backs to this correct religion after Allah guided us? كالذي استهوته الشياطين في الأرض حيران. كالذي استهوته الشياطين في الأرض حيران. Like the one whom the devil lured into the far open land, confused. Should we be like that one, the one who strayed away? The devil lured him away into the far open land while he is confused. له أصحاب يدعونه إلى الهدى ائتنا. He has companions calling him to the guidance. This one, it's like he's in a trance. He went away off of the path to go somewhere where off on the side where the devil is calling him, like he's in a trance. And he has companions calling him, Itina, come to us. قل إن هدى الله هو الهدى. Say, surely Allah's guidance, Islam is the guidance. وأمرنا لنسلم لرب العالمين. And we were commanded to submit to the Lord of the worlds. Subhanallah, what a nice ayah. قل أندعو من دون الله ما لا ينفعنا ولا يضرنا ونرد على أعقابنا بعد إذ هدانا الله كالذي استهوته الشياطين في الأرض حيران له أصحاب يدعونه إلى الهدى ائتنا. قل إن هدى الله هو الهدى وأمرنا لنسلم لرب العالمين. Here Allah gave an analogy for the one who is misguided from the path of Islam, the follower of the steps of the devil. The Muslims are calling him and he does not turn to them. Also, for your information, how to recite this word. Here. Lahu ashabun yad'unahu ilal huda tina. So when I don't stop, like the way I've just recited for you, then this Hamza here, I'm going to pronounce it. Al-Hudatina, Al-Hudatina. But if I were to just isolate this word, let's say if I were to recite it like this. Lahu ashabun yad'unahu ilal huda. He has companions calling him to the guidance. Itina, Itina. So I'm not going to pronounce that Hamza like that. Now I'm going to pronounce it like a ya because I just isolated the word. Because you're not going to put two Hamzas in a row and say Itina. So it becomes Itina. So what a beautiful analogy. What does Quran contain? Quran contains analogies. That means examples. So that's how a person is when he has believers in his midst, advising him, calling him, maybe commanding him, telling him, become Muslim before you die. He doesn't listen. Then his case is going to be like this one, who he walked off of the path, off to the side as if he's in a trance. He's being lured by the devil. And وَأُمِرْنَا لِنُسْلِمَ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. We were commanded to submit to the Lord of the worlds. If you were to say to some person, if God commanded you to be a Muslim, then you're supposed to be one, right? So what he might say, instead of saying yes, that's the correct answer that is the correct answer to the question. Instead of saying yes, he will say, well, how do you know? For example, why won't answer yes? Because he's not honest. That's why. He's not honest in himself. The answer is yes. If God commanded you to do something, you're supposed to do it. So the answer is yes. But because he's not willing, really, doesn't want to accept, so he's not going to say yes. وَأَنْ أَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَاتَّقُوهُ. And we were commanded, observe the prayer and fear him. وَهُوَ الَّذِي إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. And he it is for whom you shall be gathered. He is the one that you will come back to life for his judgment and be gathered and judged. وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ. And he it is who created heavens and earth in truth. Yani, Allah told us in the Quran, there are amongst the non-Muslims those who in themselves they knew Islam was right, but they're not going to become Muslims, then they're going to die like that, then they're going to wish they were Muslims. And some of them, they're going to say in the afterlife, we read already in this same surah, they're going to say, no, we didn't worship anyone else. They're going to lie to God. Why they will lie to God? Because they're under very severe torture, very, very severe. More severe than anything in this world. وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ. And he it is who created heavens and earth in truth. In truth means with authority and with right and divine wisdom and with entitlement. He created heavens and earth. He created heavens and earth without any obligation to create anything. And he created them without needing them. Rather, he created them with wisdom. And why do we always mention heavens and earth? To remind you, we did mention in some of our lessons. Why the mentioning of heavens and earth is repeated so frequently? Because those are the grandest creations that we see from our perspective. We humans on earth, what's the grandest that we see? The earth itself and the heavens, yani the sky, the earth and the sky. That's the grandest of what we see. We don't see paradise itself. We don't see hell itself. We're not seeing the angels and things like that. Those are very grand creations. Maybe if you saw any of that, you'd faint if you wouldn't die from shock. I mean, in this life, of course. In the afterlife, we'll see all of those things. You won't die, though, because there's no death after you come back to life. And you will see the angels, you will see paradise, you will see hell, for example, and you won't die from the shock of what you behold. ويوم يقول كن فيكون قوله الحق ويوم يقول كن فيكون قوله الحق. And the day he says, be, and it shall be, his saying is the truth. All right, we covered something like this before. So the way this is translated here, for sure, some of the sheikhs, they don't accept. So it can be changed, doesn't have to be like this, the way I'm presenting it to you. But this is the way it is for now. So let me explain for you. وَيَوْمَ يَقُولُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. And the day he says, kun, be, فَيَكُونُ, and it shall be, قَوْلُهُ الْحَقُّ. His saying is the truth. Yani, on the day he says that, then what he says is the truth. When he says be, and whatever he will to be shall be, his saying, which is his speech, is the truth. And the implication is that his saying is the truth when he says be, and it shall be. And this means that nothing shall come into being within heavens and earth, nor anything other than that, but with divine wisdom. And it is correctly appropriate. And his speech is not made of letters and sounds, meaning the day when he says be does not mean he speaks these letters. Be is an English word. He's not going to say English word be because that's created. Allah is not a creature. He's not created. He doesn't speak created languages. Be, that's the translation for the word kun. وَيَوْمَ يَقُولُ كُن. The day he says kun, be, that means exist. It's a command. فَيَكُونُ, and it shall be. When he says that, قَوْلُهُ الْحَقُّ, his saying is the truth. وَلَهُ الْمُلْكُ يَوْمَ يُنفَخُ فِي الصُّورِ. And his is the dominion the day when the horn is blown. The day when the horn is sounded. The dominion is his. He will be the only owner of anything on that day. Now, right now in this life, he is truly the only owner of everything, but he gave us uh, a ownership, a kind of ownership over whatever we have. What is the ownership that we have? It's not a real ownership. How is not a real ownership? Because if we really own the things that we have, then no one else would. Meaning, how we will own it if God owns it. If God owns it means we don't own it because it already has an owner. So if we really, really owned something in a real literal sense, then God wouldn't be owning that thing because it would already have an owner. So he is the one in this life who owns everything in reality, and he gave us a kind of ownership. The ownership we have is really a permission. It's a permission. That's another proof. What's another proof that you don't have a real literal ownership over what you have? Another proof for that is the fact that it's not permissible for you to do any and everything you want to do with it. You cannot do any and everything you want to do with what you have. For example, if you have paper money, can you light it on fire? That's haram. That's a sin. It's not permissible. It's not permissible to light that money on fire. That's a sin. But so it's not yours then. Because if it was yours, you could do whatever you want to do with it. It's not yours in a literal sense. It's yours in a figurative sense. That you have certain permission and certain control over whatever God gave you. But in reality, He's the one who owns it. That's in this life. In the next life, you won't even have anything. You won't have anything on Judgment Day. You're going to come out of your grave naked. You won't even have any clothes. What you going to have? A house, a car, a horse? You're not going to have anything. So that day in the afterlife, when you come back to life, when we all come back to life, on that day, here, walahul mulk, the dominion is his on that day, means that's the day when no one else even owns anything, not even in a figurative sense. You won't have anything that's yours when you come back to life out of your grave. لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة. You will have come back to life like the way you were created the first time. Naked, barefoot, uncircumcised, and not having anything. Nothing. Then you're going to be judged on Judgment Day. So, وَلَهُ الْمُلْكُ يَوْمَ يُنفَخُ فِي الصُّورِ. The dominion is his on that day. There is no one with any dominion on that day. Not even a figurative one, but him. يَوْمَ يُنفَخُ فِي الصُّورِ. The day when the horn is blown, the day when the horn is sounded. Which horn blast is that? That's the second blast of the horn. How many horn blasts shall there be? Two. The first blast of the horn is the blast that marks the end of this world. Because that, when the angel blows his horn the first time, that's the blast that will make the heavens and earth vibrate until they shatter into pieces. So then heavens and earth will be destroyed by the first blast of the horn. That's doomsday, the end of this world. Then 40 years later, Allah will recreate the earth and bring the angel back to life. And the angel will blow his horn a second time. That's the blow here. That's when the people come out of their graves. And any person who was not buried, like if he was incinerated, his pieces will just come back together again. He will be reformed. Alimul ghaybi wa shahada. He is knower of the unseen and of the evident. Wa huwa al-hakimul khabir. Knower of the unseen. What's the unseen? The unseen is what shall happen in the future. And the unseen includes this world of angels. We don't see the angels usually, but there's angels all around us. And there's angels, they live in the skies. And there's more angels than anything else that Allah created. And this world of genies around us. Jinn are around us and they do whatever they do. And there's paradise we don't see, and hellfire we don't see, and the enjoyment of the grave and the torture of the grave, we don't see it. Just looks like a normal grave. Unless Allah made you a saint and you could see, then you might look into the grave and you would actually see the plants in there, the light in there, and other things. But without that, you won't see it. It will just be looking like a normal grave. Allah is knower of the unseen. Unseen means what escapes our senses. What escapes our senses? Washahada, and He is knower of the evident, knower of what is open, uh, like this world of ours. We humans in this world of ours, we see people driving in their cars, people in their houses, etc., walking down the street, going to the store, doing whatever they do. And the animals, the birds, the squirrels, etc. All that is obvious, open, not unseen. Allah is the knower of the unseen, and He is the knower of the evident. وَهُوَ الْحَكِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ. And He is Al-Hakim al-Khabir, the all-wise, the all-knowing. Wise in annihilating and quickening. He is wise for making His creatures die and then bringing them back to life. And He is all-knowing, knowing the reckoning, knowing how the judgment shall be in the afterlife, and knowing the reward, and knowing the punishment. Sadaqallahul Azim. We'll stop here. Next, ayah 74 here, and then what comes after that is the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, where we will see next week, if Allah enables us, the story of Abraham, how he talked to his father. His father would not become a Muslim, and how he talked to his people. They were star worshippers. They were idol worshippers. And we'll see what else is there. Subhanallah. Allahu alam. Any question?
I have a question, but it's not related to the lesson, so I don't know if you're willing to take those sorts of questions now.
Sure, go ahead.
From my understanding, if someone leaves food uncovered, especially overnight, it's recommended for them to cover it and say like Bismillah. However, if someone accidentally leaves food open without doing that overnight, what's the best course of action? Should they just say Bismillah and eat it? Is it better for them to dispose of the food? Because my understanding is there's one night a year where sickness comes down or a cure comes down.
That's true. One night out of the year, a sickness comes down. That's part of the unseen. Allah knows when this happens. One night out of the year, a sickness comes down and it enters into every open container. Any container that doesn't have a lid on it, something on top of it, it will go into it. So if there's food in there or drink, it's going to go in there. If you just put something over this container, even if it's a stick, it doesn't have to seal the container altogether. Just cover it though with something, and cover it in the name of God. So you put what you want to put, like a stick or a pencil, over your cup, and you say Bismillah. Then, if it happens that that's the night when the sickness comes down, it will not enter into that container. It was also, some things were reported about this. I'm going to come and answer your question. Some things were reported about this, like some person who did that, and it's important to say Bismillah, not merely to put something over the top, but to say Bismillah when you do it. Some person did like that, and he came back the next day to find a snake on the stick that he used, meaning it didn't go down into his container. By the blessing of putting that stick in the name of Allah. And also, I think I caught this snake once. I don't know if I ever told you before. Maybe not you, but I mean the class. I think I caught this snake once when I was studying overseas, and I was pulling an all-nighter, and I had a cup of coffee. And I just had in my heart something said, don't drink it. What? I drank it anyway. When I put that cup to my lips, immediately I got sick, and I stayed sick for 3 days. Had sweat coming out of my nose, sweat coming out of my head, the top of my head. SubhanAllah. So, Yani, I think that's what that was, because that's what it seemed like was the case. Now, what if you don't cover? That's your question. What if you don't cover your food? What do you do? I don't know. Good question. Do you throw it away? Is that warrant to throw it away? Or what? Do you say Bismillah and eat it anyway? Let's ask. I don't know.
Barakallahu feek. I look
I
forward
mean,
to hearing your answer because I don't know what to do with some food that I accidentally left out.
all right, I'll ask inshallah.
I have a question. The one you said, is that 40 years between the two blows of the horn?
Yes, 40 years between the two horn blasts.
Okay, barakallahu fikum. And I never heard that, so I want to make sure. Jazakallah khairah.
Ameen wa iyyakum.
Ameen.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك